You are listening to Seniors Junction podcast. We are preventing seniors isolation, one conversation at a time. Your hosts today, Namrata Bagaria and myself, Paul Merkley, we're the co-founders of Seniors Junction, and our very special guest today, Justin Guest, who is the Vice President of Senior Life Engagement of Atria Senior Living, and one of the residents from Long Island, Sarah Dacole Gable. Welcome, Justin, and welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Could you, Justin, could you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
You would like to know what I'm doing now or in my life, Justin? Oh.
So yeah, my name, like you said, my name is Justin Guest. I'm the Vice President of Engaged Life with Atria Senior Living. And I get the fantastic opportunity to work with our staff across the United States in all of our communities to help deliver programs and activities that impact our seniors to the better of their health and to really get them connected with each other, with our staff, obviously, and with their local community happenings.
Thank you. And Sarah, same question for you. Can you tell us about yourself right now and what you do right now?
Well, what I do now and what I've done in the past, what would you like to know? What I'm
Looking
doing
about
now,
what you do, tell us about you now, I think.
right now, I try to keep active and enjoy every moment that I have here, because I know I'm going to be 95 in about a month. And so I know that my days are numbered. And so I want to enjoy every single day I can. And here I have many friends that I have made. Fortunately, they're friends that we have a lot in common with. They're about the same age I am or a little younger. And they're active and they keep me active. If I get too lazy about getting up to go exercise, my friend Eleanor says, Sarah, you better come down and we're having exercise now. So she gets me moving and I move and I do it anyhow, but it helps to have a little push once in a while. And then I also try to read a lot, but the best part of the reading is yesterday we had a book discussion group from the club, and it was just so wonderful because it really opened up my mind to so many different points of view from one same book, that different people see things differently. But also it really awakened me. There were some things I didn't pick up in the book, and this really stimulated my thinking a lot. And so that was very important to me. I love reading and I love lectures. Thank God Megan has provided us with some good lecture series. And we like to listen to the lectures. And so we've had good programs. And I we had an opera singer come in. We had a violinist come in. It's so refreshing to have music and the people around me are very smart. I don't know all of them, but I know a lot, and I try to keep making new friends, because the new friends, when you reach a certain age or when you get to live as long as I have lived, life is good, but it's also sad in many ways, because many of your friends are gone and you have sort of an empty hole inside you. And the way to fill that hole was, I have to make new friends. And when I came here, I made many new friends, and they have helped me to enjoy my years. I don't want to say last years, because I hate that word last, because we never know what last is. And I refuse to think that way. but I think always that I'm going to live forever, and therefore I'm going to do everything I can. And so this is a place that helps me to do that. It keeps me alert even when I don't want to be alert, and that little kick, come on, let's go. And the group of friends have really helped me a great deal. And also the fact that they have so many choices. If I don't like one thing, I will do another. Now, I love to play bridge. I've always played a lot of bridge. But when I came here, there are a few people, and we're trying to get more, and we are getting more. But in the meantime, I thought I must learn something else. So I learned to play Rubik's Cube, which I never heard of. But I have to learn new things all the time. And it keeps me not only stimulated, but getting bored. I don't want to be bored. And so I don't know, what else would you like? My artwork, my artwork. Well, I can't paint as much as I used to paint because I had to give up my studio. And I don't want to splash paint all over the floors here. So I can draw. I can draw. And so I thought of Matisse, you know, the famous artist Matisse. When he was old and going blind and he couldn't see anymore for painting, he started cutting out collages, colored paper. And the Museum of Modern Art in Manhattan, the Metropolitan, had a magnificent show a few years ago of his collages. So I thought to myself, why not? If I can't do one thing, but I can do something else. So let's get doing that. And so never give up. That's my philosophy. Don't give up. Maybe I'm stubborn. I do have a stubborn streak, and I refuse to give up. Even when I know I should, I don't. But that's me. Everybody has to find their own way. Okay.
Wonderful.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This is so exciting. I mean, Paul plays a lot of bridge. He is, I call him a bridge addict, okay? So
Oh,
Paul loves bridge, and Paul is a professor of music. So it's great that you have tennis, music, and bridge in common with Paul. And he also is someone who's active all the time. So I'm just so happy that to find, like, you know, from we've never met, and on this podcast we find so much in common as a philosophy, as businesses, Justin, and as humans with Sarah. So my question to Justin is, in your line of work, you must have encountered social isolation in seniors. And what are the pain points that you have encountered in your line of work? And then I will ask the same question to Sarah afterwards. So Justin.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, social isolation, it is, I mean, it's a very real, a very real thing that's happening throughout multiple senior living situations. You know, we typically find that it really starts at the home before a senior in that family unit makes the decision to move into a community. That life is changing. And I think Miss Sarah, she hit the nail on the head that, as you, get a little bit older, you start to realize that, stuff with your friends and family situation is changing pretty quickly. And so I think for families and for local leaders, it is critical to really stay connected to seniors when they're living at home and really begin to help them transition into senior living communities, like Atria, because the way we work with families and with residents is very much around what Miss Sarah is echoing here. We start with engagement. We really pinpoint what their interests are, what their history has been, and what are some new discoveries that they're looking to venture into throughout life. Because the adage of never give up, quoting Sarah, today is very much that kind of framework that we live in. We want our seniors to discover new things that they can try, that they can adventure into. It may be art, it may be exercise, it may be theater, it could be rowing, or taking some grand adventure, whatever that may be. We want to help our residents get to that next place and be on that journey and really enjoy life where they are, and to not do that alone, to do that in community, to be with friends and to be connected.
Thank you. I think that speaks to a lot of what our company was founded on, is to have people find purpose and connections.
Very much so.
And so we call that serious leisure, because it's not just watching a show or a TV. It's something with a purpose. And once it's like almost like magnetic. Once you start with you, and then it starts spreading elsewhere. So
Yeah.
that kind of feeling. So Sarah, in your life, in the resident homes that you are in, or in otherwise, what has your experience been with social isolation?
Say that again, please.
What has your experience been with social isolation?
Oh, it has been a wonderful experience.
Social isolation.
Isolation. The isolation, well, there is Chrissy, she works here, has introduced me to many of these words. It's like, I forgot. And you have to figure out the words and figure out this game. And so it will keep you for hours challenging this. And sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't, but you keep trying. And so she has 2 or 3 different games that she challenges us with. Some we do in a room where she has a big screen. Others you take to your room if you can't get out, and you can work it in your room. And then she'll, if you get stuck, you could always call her, or you could just figure it out. But it really has worked for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I think the next question for Justin is that if this is the the problem that you have pointed, and you've sort of alluded to your vision. So what is the vision of Atria for solving senior isolation?
Great question. I can hit on a little bit just around purpose first. First and foremost, we believe that everyone, regardless of your age and where you are, has purpose. And we are very aware that life is changing very quickly for our seniors who are coming into our communities throughout the country. And so, we really kind of stick to getting people connected quickly. We want to dive into a relationship with our residents, know a little bit about them as they're coming into the community, but then really take the time to get to know them. And so we have a great system set up with our staff, like Megan, who is with Miss Sarah right now, someone who focuses on those connecting points, getting our residents into specific programs of interest, allowing friendships to be made, and for people to build those healthy relationships with other men and women in their communities. Very, very important that we do that. And so from there, we really try to stay in full communication with families, letting them know updates on a weekly basis as to how things are going, residents communicating with their families, and allowing for that transparency to take place as our residents are making new friends and experiencing new opportunities. We're very big on the holistic well-being model around not only physical fitness activity, but also providing activities and programs that'll engage an individual's mind and spirit. And I love this area that you mentioned, the reading and book club that you're in. That is a perfect example of how we try to engage our residents beyond just the physical fitness piece of their day-to-day, which is still important. And we definitely want to emphasize that as you come into an Atria community, you're going to stay active. You know, we have classes almost every day for our residents to go to exercise, to learn new skills, to get outside of their community and get involved as well. That's highly important. So it's really about trying to connect the entire individual to not only where they're living, but how they're able to live life with other people in their communities.
Excellent, thank you. And Miss Sarah, what is your vision? What advice do you have for other seniors who may be experiencing social isolation?
About socialization?
What advice do you have to give to other seniors
Yes.
who are experiencing social isolation? If they're by themselves, what would you say to them?
My first is to find a community like this to come to, where you can connect with other people. And the most important thing is to make friends, new friends all the time, because there are many different types of personalities in this place. And you'll always find some that you can connect with and that enjoy the same things you enjoy. There are many who don't, but that's okay. You're friendly with them, but you can connect closer with the ones that you have things in common with, or that even if they're not in common, they're good for discussion and challenging, and we agree sometimes and we disagree other times, but we don't punch each other. We just say, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We agree to disagree as nicely as we can, but we do have good times and we laugh. And I have to say this, before I came here, I was living alone because my husband had passed away. And even though I had my art, it was getting lonely. And the loneliness has gone now. I don't feel lonely anymore. I feel I have something to look forward to every day. I have my list and say, let's see, I'm going to do this and this and this today. And so I circle what I choose, and what I don't choose, I just ignore. And it works for me. And I look forward to the many programs that Megan has put together. Because in the afternoon, one thing I would like to have, I'm sorry for criticizing, but I would like to have more programs at night, because not everybody goes to bed at 8 o'clock. I don't. So I like to have something stimulating in the evening, because most of the people go to bed early. But we are doing that. We are starting to get a few Rubik Cube games at night, and some lady who likes to play the piano at night at about 7 o'clock. She says, come on down, we'll get around the piano, and she plays nice music. And so we all get around the piano. I don't sing, but she has these little instruments I can play with. And so we find our own way, as well as what Megan puts together. We also try to put together things that we have, that we can do. It also makes us feel like we're a part of this family. We're not just being catered to, but we're contributing to this family. And that makes me feel better. It makes Jojo, who plays the piano, feel better. And the rest of us have enjoyed the moments we do together.
Thank you. So some shameless advertising from us, Justin. Our company only provides programs for afternoons and evenings for senior living homes, because we studied the market quite carefully, and we realized that mornings everybody has lots going on, and there's acute staff shortage, and also reimbursement models which limit senior homes' capacities to serve. So we offer every afternoon and evening our courses, and which are like 8 weeks long. You can learn history of music, you can learn art, you can learn an instrument. Actually, we have a piano course starting. So we have a lot of interesting things. So for me, this sentence which she used, something to look forward to, every single person in our market research said that. So I'm just like, the reason I'm smiling so hard is it's like, oh my God, this is like market research talking to us. Like, and sometimes we feel happy that we're not building things for people who may not use it, right? Because there's so much you can do which is useless. And we want to help businesses which are already doing a lot of work, and we just want to like augment that work with our contribution because there's so much to do. And one of the things that we learned in our market research is everybody has a time when they feel lonely. And between 6 to 9 p.m., or at least that's the evening time, is when the loneliness hits many people because you're busy the whole day, your mind is off. And then when you're back in your room. So these are the kind of things we've learned over time, because that was the opportunity we feel the best we could contribute. So Justin, given your vision you've explained to me, of connecting seniors and having those representation managers who understand the deep needs of your clients, what were and what are the challenges and opportunities for you?
No, I think, you're hitting on some very key spots here. Something, that we are finding that continues to be more important to our residents and in the work that we're doing is how do we individualize and customize an experience for each resident? Years ago, programming was done, a certain way. And I think as time moves on and technology is a big piece of it, we're able to not only program and provide opportunities for residents based off of interest, but we're really able to begin hearing and listening at a more in-depth pace and figuring out which, how everyone responds to certain things, much like the example of wanting some more night programming opportunities or some opportunities just to connect with some friends. Those are some very key areas that we should always be paying attention to in terms of what people want at certain times throughout the week. So I think the individualized, customized experience is something we are heavily focused on and paying attention to, using technology to our advantage and helping our residents have various opportunities when it comes to education, art, exposure to theater, and connecting with other seniors across the United States and really across the world.
Thank you. I think this is again another thing. We just did a summit September. It was called Personalizing Social Connectedness. So it was for senior living. And this is what we've heard from many other senior management like you about the need for personalized experiences. And definitely as we go along, like what we are learning through podcasts and we analyzing our data to understand like what can we do to make a difference. What it comes down to, I think the two things which came down to, if bare bones for personalization, the first is the attitude of the senior. A lot, like not even personality, the attitude. And like if you have an attitude like Sarah, which is never give up, then it's very easy to do solutions for such a person. And the second that came out was the environment of the senior living home. Because a lot of this, the senior management have told us, you can make a library or you can make a billiard table or whatever, but if you do not program it, nobody will use it. Right? So how attuned is the management? Because it's the ecosystem, it's the basic ecosystem. And like you have a book club, not just that. So that's the human factor, right? The energy which keeps it going. So I would like to say, like, you guys are doing all the right things that we've heard so far. And we've interviewed many, many, many people. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I think you're hitting on the environment is key as well. I tell you, I want to toot our own horn. Just with Atria, we have some very dedicated staff who look at the details of the environments that we're providing for our residents and how do we couple that with the programs that we're offering, and looking at the change of pace and how people stay connected and experience life. And so we're constantly looking at how are social spaces designed? How are hallways designed? How is the food and beverage areas? How are those put together? And then what can we do in order to build one-on-one relationships and small group relationships? Because those are key. and for people to really distance themselves from the feeling of isolation and loneliness, for us to put that to the side and really focus on building those quality relationships that allow for our residents and our staff to have that sense of family that really I think we're all looking for.
Exactly. And the cohort-based experience, Paul, don't you agree that that's what we have?
That's key to our offerings. Is it's not recorded, it's a live experience, and then whatever people are doing, whatever purpose they are finding in this leisure or this activity, this hobby, it's done simultaneously with others, and friendships can arise, and discussion and connectedness. So yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Could I ask, Justin, what advice you would have for a company like ours?
Oh gosh, advice for a company like yours. Well, first off, I mean, I think just keep doing what you're doing, because you're obviously heading in a great direction. I love the personalization approach that you all are taking and really getting feedback from people. And from what I know, just connecting seniors to each other. I think that's the opportunity where people can discover new things, new opportunities, is critical. My advice to even seniors would be coming back to that sense of purpose. And so the more we can lift up that sense of purpose, really create opportunities and different kind of channels in a way for people to not only feel that, but to live it out and to discover those new opportunities. So, I mean, it sounds like you all are really heading in that direction, which is fantastic.
Thank you. Miss Sarah, what's your advice for us and for other seniors? How can we help them with isolation? Like, how do we develop the attitude that you have?
Justin just said something that really hit me, that was so important. Sense of purpose. I think if you have a sense of purpose in what you're doing, it gives you a good reason to look forward to every day and to feel a part of the world that's going around. Without that purpose, you feel, oh, what am I doing here? Why am I here? But if you have a sense of purpose, it makes you want to go on every day. You don't get depressed because you know you have something that's important going on that you must do or accomplish. It's important to you. It may not be important to anybody else, but if it's important to you, that's good enough for me, anyhow. And so I find that very important when that was when I first came here, I had that feeling, oh my God, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And then I spoke to my daughter and I said, you know what it is? I really need to have a purpose. And I started to get back to my art and getting some things together that I had to do. And it's changed everything. It has been wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
so that's the key. But everybody has to find their own purpose because it's different for every person. And we have to do a little searching within ourselves to decide, what is it really important in my life? And you have to answer that yourself.
Thank you. I think this is so profound, and we feel very grateful and honored to actually work in the business because it transforms our lives. It's not just profession, Justin. When you work in this kind of work, it's hard not to transform yourself. Like, I'm sitting at home, I could be in my pajamas, but I get to dress up and, come on the podcast, so I feel like a little celebrity of my own in my own room. So it's something that speaks a lot to us personally, and now it's professionally too. And so, Justin, if people want to find about Atria and more about you, how can they find you?
Oh gosh, there's some very easy ways. Obviously, our website is probably the easiest one, atriaseniorliving.com. We are on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. And then obviously people can visit the local Atria community near their home. I do want to hit on one last thing that you just said, and it was the word transformational. In my time with Atria, I would say we have a fantastic transactional experience, but we are heavily focused on transformational experiences and transforming lives. And I think when people step foot into our communities and meet our amazing residents and staff, they'll see how well we bring both worlds together of that transformational and transactional experience. And we, I really just want to say that, we look forward to meeting some new families and talking to some new residents as they're looking at homes to transition into.
Thank you. And Miss Sarah, do you have a way that people can look at your art or your videos, which Justin was talking about before? Where do we find you?
Megan has been nudging me to have an art show here at the Atria, and I'm thinking of we probably could do that sometime in November. And so I will have to, it's a lot of work, but I think I will enjoy doing it. And the people here will, I think, enjoy seeing it. And hopefully I can invite some of my family or friends to come in. I'm not sure about that. We haven't really got that far. But yes, it's a lot of work, but anything that's worthwhile is work. So
thank you. That's well said.
This picture up here is of one of my paintings. I don't know if you could see it, but
We can see it.
It's called The Moment of Lift. It was inspired by Linda Gates. You know Linda Gates. She wrote that book, The Moment of Lift, and that book inspired me to do this painting. And it's about women helping each other, and it gives you a lift, because I go back, way back. I'm so old now that I was in the Depression. People lived in the tenements and they had very little. And so in order to survive, when one had a baby, they all pitched in to help her. And so they survived by helping each other. And to me, that is the greatest thing that anybody can do, because it does not only for them, but it does for you. It makes you feel better. And so this moment of lift is what happens when you help and when the other people help. And so it's a great, great feeling. And I have to thank Melinda Gates for writing that book, and I did the painting.
Thank you. If she's listening to this podcast, we will be in awe and shock ourselves. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this being our Thanksgiving special episode, so I wish our listeners a happy American Thanksgiving. We've already had that in Canada. So thank you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for being on the podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you.